All right, we've had our rate announcement, so I'm going to talk about that. More news on oil, and especially for Alberta. More on voodoo economics, so you can understand why I have the position I have. And you guys keep saying the Liberals cause crime, so let's talk about that. First up, Bank of Canada has announced a hold to the policy rate. Is this a mistake? Yeah. Especially in light of the United States dollar getting weaker and our dollar getting stronger as a result, we could have cut another quarter point. The fall in the price of oil is going to cause problems out west. More problems. I'll get to that in a sec. Now, I'm expecting them to get to 1.75 by the end of this year. That's 4 quarter point cuts. And there's more than 4 rate announcements. So I figured they were hold at some point in time. This is the worst point in time to hold. We have a slowing economy. Interest payments, especially mortgage interest cost, is still the number one cause of inflation. The number one bit of pressure on people. Really? This will play out as a bad decision and may lead to a 0.5 point cut at the next meeting. All right, let's talk about the price of oil for a little bit because it has stabilized somewhat today on some somewhat positive news. The somewhat positive news is that OPEC Plus vows to offset 4.57 million barrels per day overproduction by June of 2026. That's a long way away. While this threat still looms large, this price over here is still kind of on the edge for oil producers. If it drops too low, some oil producers, especially in the West, like the US, like Canada, might go out of business. Has OPEC done this before? Yeah, twice, recently. In 2014, they crashed the market. In 2020, they crashed the market. And this brings me to the effect it's had on Alberta specifically, but Canada in general. I've said it many times, I've shown it. The price of oil affects our GDP, which means it's affecting our economy in general. But let's face it, it's going to affect Alberta more than anything else. Now, you're constantly told that it was JT that screwed everything up, that it was the Liberals that screwed everything up. But as I just showed you, it was the Saudis and their 2014 price war. Right there. Before the price war, things were fantastic in Alberta. After the price war, things were shit. Unfortunately, the Liberals got voted in at that time. But it had nothing to do with them, just like the 2020 price war. And why do I bring it up? Because a price war could be coming again. And there's not a thing we can do about it. Now, there's this narrative that Liberals are soft on crime and JT caused all this crime to happen. Oh yeah? Remember 2014? Police reported crime severity index as 1998 to 2023. That's an interesting turnaround. What year was that? 2014. Because socioeconomic factors drives crime. Now, despite what some TikTokers want to tell you about how dangerous it is in Ontario, Ontario is the safest place in the country. Northwest Territories is the worst. And unsurprisingly, out west, prairie provinces, where the economy can suffer greatly, the crime is pretty bad. And it could get worse. By the way, some of you mentioned military spending as well. There's 2015. That's when Liberals took over from the Conservatives. So everything over here is the Conservative spending on military. Everything over there is Liberal spending on military. And you can see the Liberals spend more. I'm just pointing out the facts. Because people like to tell you things that aren't true. Why do they tell you these things that aren't true? Because it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to keep pushing voodoo economics. Because of the tariffs and the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, voodoo economics is also becoming more popular. At least in the conversation. Because in Ferris Bueller, they talk about voodoo economics as well. It's been called Reaganomics, trickle-down economics. It's all the same shit. And it never works. I asked ChatGPT for a quick breakdown before this video, and I just took a screenshot of it because I think this is hilarious. Are they leaning into things like big tax cut equals automatic growth? Big tax cut equals automatic growth. Deregulation is a silver bullet. Deregulation is a silver bullet. And balancing the budget by cutting waste without saying where. And they're both saying that. He's saying he wants to invest in things that actually pays Canada back, and he's saying he wants to get rid of the CBC. And out west, you're being told that the problem is regulation on the oil company and this and that, and a whole bunch of bullshit. And they're just lying to you, folks. They're just lying to you, straight up. And like, in the next few months, as the price of oil goes down and potentially crashes, what are you going to say? Are you going to say it's the federal government's fault? Because it won't be. Alberta's fate right now is in the hands of the oil barons, especially those in Saudi Arabia, because those are the guys that pull the strings. The only thing the federal government can do, or hopefully your provincial governments, is try to invest in business that's not the oil industry. Fingers crossed.